It is the first night of Ramadan. You feel a beautiful surge of faith, knowing the gates of heaven are wide open, the gates of hell are closed, and the devils are finally chained. You promise yourself that this month will be different. But a few days pass, and suddenly you catch yourself getting unusually angry, harboring negative thoughts, or falling back into a bad habit. You sit there in quiet frustration and ask yourself a profound question. If the devils are locked away, why am I still sinning? And where are these dark thoughts coming from? Stay with me until the very end of this video, because the most important realization about your inner self during this month will completely change how you view your struggles and how you seek forgiveness. To understand what is happening to your mind during Ramadan, we have to look at the anatomy of human sin. For 11 months of the year, your mind is under constant attack from external whispers. The major devils actively try to push you toward negativity, anxiety, and disobedience. But when Ramadan begins, divine mercy removes this external enemy. The major devils are chained. The heavy, dark energy from the outside is completely cut off. So when you still experience the urge to commit a sin, you are experiencing the reality of your own nafs, which is your ego or your lower self. Think of your mind like a massive, heavy train that has been speeding down a track for 11 months. The engine driving that train represents the external devils constantly feeding your bad habits. When Ramadan arrives, Allah cuts the engine. The external fuel is completely gone, but does the train stop immediately? No, it keeps moving forward purely on its own momentum. The sins you commit in Ramadan are the momentum of the habits you built throughout the rest of the year. Your brain has been psychologically wired to react to stress with anger, to react to boredom with mindless scrolling, or to react to insecurity with backbiting. That neurological wiring does not disappear on the first day of fasting. Furthermore, we must address the reality of the Qareen. While the rebellious external devils are chained, your Qareen, the unseen companion attached to you since birth, remains. Your Qareen knows your deepest psychological triggers, your unhealed traumas, and your specific weaknesses. However, without the reinforcement of the external devils, the influence of the Qareen is actually severely weakened. What you are fighting now is not an overpowering demonic force, but rather the quiet echoes of your own unchecked desires. This realization is often a painful psychological mirror. Outside of a Ramadan, it is very easy to blame the devil for our mistakes. It is comforting to point a finger at an external force. But during this blessed month, you are placed in a quiet, isolated room with your own soul. The noise stops, and you are forced to look directly at your own flaws. The toxicity, the laziness, the quick temper, it is all coming from within. This sudden self-awareness can cause a deep spiritual plateau, leading to feelings of heavy guilt and unworthiness. You might even feel like your fasting is broken or useless because your thoughts are still imperfect. But you must shift your perspective. This psychological mirror is not meant to destroy your hope. It is a divine diagnosis. You cannot cure a disease if you do not know where it hurts. By removing the external devils, Allah has isolated your nafs so you can clearly see exactly what needs to be healed. This is the ultimate purpose of fasting. When you deny your physical body food and water, you are actively starving the nafs. You are weakening the flesh to give your spiritual soul the strength to take the steering wheel. Every time you feel the urge to act on a bad habit and you choose to stay patient because you are fasting, You are slowly stopping that heavy train. You are literally rewiring your brain and breaking the momentum of 11 months of neglect. And this brings us to the most important point. Do not let the mistakes you make in Ramadan push you away from Allah. The fact that you feel guilt for your sins while fasting means that your heart is spiritually alive. Allah chained the devils not because He expects you to instantly become a flawless angel, but to show you your true self, so you know exactly what to purify. You are fighting deeply ingrained human habits, and dismantling them is a slow, psychological marathon. Be incredibly gentle with yourself. View your struggles not as failures, but as the areas where your soul needs the most medicine. Keep seeking forgiveness, keep resisting the urges, and trust the process of the fast. What is a specific habit you are trying to break this Ramadan? Share your thoughts with me in the comments below, and may Allah grant you inner peace.